Yeah, one key thing I think that came up near the beginning was this decision of, we've discovered, people have discovered this beautiful thing, they come back home, and then it's like, okay, um, how do I share this? And this decision between, am I trying to find a group to lead, and kind of be a teacher, or is it more, as Fabienne is saying, like the co-improv playtime thing? That feels like quite an important first distinction. And then in both of those settings, contexts, it's like, okay, then next, how do you find the right people? So then Janet was somewhat, no, Kay was then mentioning, choirs, networks, voice teachers, local music schools. And Chiara mentioned the space is also important of where you do it, right? Like public, or do you advertise it on Meetup or whatever? So both of those are kind of related to promotion, I guess, even if it's just for you, right? It's kind of that like self, not really promotion, but it's just that networking. Um, and then if you are wanting to lead groups, then there's the whole thing of like, okay, am I a facilitator? Am I going to learn how to be a facilitator? So then there's like training. And I loved what Chiara said at the beginning, and also Jude, about like, oh, now I have to do loads of admin and finance stuff and blah, blah, blah. And like, do I want to do that? And I really think it's a key thing within that is this peer-to-peer support with that, which is what Jude is, you know, um, setting up. And also what I've experienced with Phoebe, for example, when we've done Vocal Playground, we did it in Leeds and London, and just having someone on that same teacher level to be able to share experience with, I think, is another like key feature. Um, and then another way of maybe gathering people without you doing it yourself is inviting facilitators, which is definitely what I did as well. But as Elvire was asking, then, if you haven't done that before, then how do you do that? And maybe it's making me think maybe there's some kind of online resource of like, hey, these are the things to think about, and you should start, at least 6 months before, and blah blah blah, whatever, and kind of gather what Chiara and Kay were just saying. But I think that could be a nice resource, quite a simple, just like, this is what you might want to consider if you want to invite a facilitator to come to your home. um mm, 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 mm. And then other things related to like when you're finding, whether it's something that you want to lead or people that you are trying to want to play with. I think super important to be really clear about what it is that you want. This came up, and specify and not be shy, um, and just invite what it truly is that your heart desires. Um, yes. And then it was interesting that Marcelo picked up on, the well, he's wanting to travel and meet different people. And Jude also mentioned this, that, but actually people, myself included, even though I'm here now on the well thing, I like with people maybe aren't so yet present actually on the well, but that's because it's new. It's only just arrived. So I think that's also kind of normal and fine. But maybe to put a bit more energy and effort, all of us, into like growing that network as a base. um yes, and then of course there was loads of other stuff, but I think that those feel like some of the keystones of this chat.